What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news for you concerning Luis King Kong Ortiz. Luis King Kong Ortiz and his team have been officially offered the Anthony Joshua fight for the Jarrell Miller testing positive twice, and in that replacement. Okay, he has until the 23rd of this month, which is next Tuesday, to make a decision. Okay, now you guys all know that I think Ortiz can give anybody problems, especially in the top five. And things we must know about Ortiz before we move forward. He's 40 years old, not almost 40. He's 40, okay? His birthday was last month. I think it's on the 29th or the 17th of last month. It is now April. So he is officially 40, okay? Regardless of what people think his age truly is, it's 40 on paper. That's what we're going to go by, so that's it. He's 40 years old, okay? Time is not on his side, okay? His last fight with Christian Hammer, it didn't look impressive to me. I think it was a tough fight. I think Christian Hammer was tougher than a lot of people gave him credit for. That was the problem, because a lot of people just thought Christian Hammer was that one of these guys like a Travis Kaufman. He was not, and even Travis Kaufman, went not the full 10 rounds, but he did give in 9 rounds with Luis Ortiz, okay? And he looked slow in that fight. He looked like he's showing his age a little bit in that fight. But that is a performance. There's other performances from other fighters that they didn't look so great. Okay, so, at the end of the day, we're human. Old DW, Deontay Wilder, was right about that. But, of course, he said that for his own reasons. But I have to agree with him that you do have an off night. Billy Joe Sanders had an off night. Then he had a great night against David Lemieux. So these type of things happen in the sport of boxing. Okay, you have an off night. But my thing is, he went from the fight being offered or Anthony Joshua needing an opponent, Anthony Joshua then signing to fight Miller, then all of a sudden, there he is. Like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to fight, I'll fight you for basically free. And that's another thing, okay? I got a counterpunch. How do you go from, hey, I'll basically fight you for free? Now remember, guys, that wasn't that long ago, okay? That was not that long ago when Miller signed the dotted line finally, okay? So how do you go from, okay, hey, I'm ready to fight you, and I'll fight you for free, basically, or whatever you'll give me, to, okay, well, I'm going to make my mind up by Tuesday. And I've credited Luis Ortiz for doing this. He stayed in the ring. Well, he stayed in the gym constantly. He trains year round, like his Cuban pedigree, like the roots of what he used to do back in the day when he was in Cuba, because that's what they do. They do train year round. That's why they are successful at boxing and other events, okay, because of their extensive training. Now, if he claims to do that, he should not have a problem, and that should not be an alibi for him saying, oh, I don't have enough time, okay? We don't buy that shit. I don't buy that shit. I can't say we, but I don't, because we've seen his Instagram. I follow the guy. I'm friends with the guy on Facebook, for Christ's sake. I see the things that he's doing constantly, okay? That's physical, that's in the gym, that's getting him ready. And my big motto is, even in my profession, okay, you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I think this is a situation where opportunity's knocking, and this is the time to strike for Luis Ortiz, because these opportunities are not coming. They're not going to be here all the time. Like, again, he's fought Deontay Wilder. Now, word around the campfire, according to Hearn, he believes that Ortiz may have a rematch promised to him by Deontay Wilder on some slick Al Heyman kind of thing. on a promise that, everything else falls through. If the Tyson Fury fight, because Tyson won't fight him later this year. He's going to fight him next year sometime. So, that may be a reason for Ortiz to back out of this fight, but I cannot imagine why. And I'm going to tell you why, guys. What would you gain to wait around for a Deontay Wilder rematch where we don't know the future? First of all, you're not going to get the money that you're going to ever get for fighting Deontay Wilder than you would with Anthony Joshua, second of all. And third of all, Deontay Wilder might get knocked out. He might get knocked out by Dominic Breazeale. Stranger things can happen. Not saying that he will. But it could happen, okay? And the thing about it is, Luis Ortiz, I feel that his team needs to take this opportunity. Now, the downside to that is, let's say he's not training. Let's say that the stuff on Instagram is, just for show, or to show that, hey, I have the ability to do, instead of a constant training regimen, okay? That could be the case. We saw other things of people pretend like they do this every day, and then they really don't do this every day. That's just something they're trying to push to the social media to give you this persona or this narrative that they are just these people that are about that life, and they're really not. So let's honestly say that he's not. Well, if he's not, he has 6 weeks, okay? And yes, it's a risk. But get this. If Luis Ortiz decides to take and sign the dotted line with Anthony Joshua, he will get more accolades than anything else. There will be no excuses at that point. It's just like almost, it's a perk coming in because, hey, I stepped in short notice. So even if he gets his ass beat, he can still say, hey, I didn't have the time to train, but I had to do what I had to do because the money was offered to me and I wanted to take the opportunity. Well done, sir. There's nothing wrong with that. He might give Anthony Joshua one hell of a fight, another Vlad Joshua fight, okay? So that may be the case, and he comes up short. But still, at the end of the day, he would still get the credit because he took that fight 6 weeks notice, okay? Came in the ring, fought Anthony Joshua, fought his heart out, still came up short. It ends in 10th, 11th round, They go back and forth or whatever. He still loses. Hey, he doesn't have to save face because at the end of the day, people, and especially the anti-Joshua people, are going to say, well, you didn't give him enough time. Imagine if you did. You see what I mean? So that's one of those situations where it's a win-win if he signs. He's not getting any older. And he's not getting any younger. And since he's getting older, he's still fighting guys for a couple $100,000 here. His biggest fight purse was against Deontay Wilder with $500,000. And then, you're still willing to take these type of fights and still take punishment in the ring. Luis Ortiz hasn't taken much punishment. So I'm not going to try to push that narrative like he's just been this battered fighter. He's not. He's too skilled for that. However, the older you get, the more punishment you take. Okay, so why would you want to risk doing the same thing for less money when you can do it for damn near every belt the heavyweight division has to offer? That's what I'm saying, guys, with this. What else? Al Heyman. Well, if Al Heyman won't allow this fight to happen, fighters shouldn't even have teams. They shouldn't have managers, no promoters. They shouldn't have anybody, because it doesn't matter if he's stopping this type of fight, and I can understand, to touch on that briefly, why he would, okay? All right, Deontay Wilder is the fighter that is built up in America. He's the fighter that, he's our American champion over here in the States. I get that. And for someone to throw pretty much your second in command best fighter, you might not be American, but he's from the Americas. Last I heard, the Caribbean's in the Americas. Okay, and he's fighting here in America, so you wouldn't want your second in command, your quote unquote Dillian White overseas, to fight the top guy and lose, because the only thing he has left, would be Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? So Al Heyman's very smart at matchmaking, and he wouldn't want those type of fights to be made, especially if he gets in there, Luis Ortiz fights Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua beats him in a better fashion than Deontay Wilder. Quicker, more, more precisely, without all the, the rabbit punches and all the throwing into the ropes and all that stuff, right? So if Anthony Joshua is able to get a knockdown or a knockout, a massive knockout, it will strip the credibility from Deontay Wilder, because there's one thing about winning and there's another thing about beating good fighters, and those fighters go on to keep winning, versus you beat the fighter and then they ain't worth a damn no more, so that really don't make you worth a damn anymore, if that makes sense to everybody or anybody. But my counterpunch, finally, wrapping it up, Luis Ortiz needs to make a decision. If he's about his family, and I know he loves his children, I think that he should go for this opportunity and don't let excuses get in the way. Or Al Heyman, which would be another excuse. But anyway, that's me wrapping it up, guys. You guys tell me what you think about Luis Ortiz being offered this fight with Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been Counterpunched. Peace.